Why now is the time to buy gold? With the new Trump administration, global economic shifts, and rising uncertainty, now might be the best time for the average person to invest in precious metals. In this video, I'm going to break down the key reasons why gold and silver are poised for growth, how they can protect your wealth, and how beginners can get started with buying and storing precious metals. Most people don't realize this, but the money in your pocket isn't actually real money. It's debt. Let me explain. If you look at a US dollar bill, right at the top, it says Federal Reserve note. That word note is key because a note is a debt, an IOU from the government, not a true store of value. This is a huge shift from what money used to be. For most of history, money was something real: gold, silver, land, other hard assets. Sometimes it was beads. These weren't just pieces of paper. They were stores of value. They took energy, labor, and time to create. That's why they hold their worth over time. But today, we're living in a world where our money is just digits on a screen, printed at will by central banks. Here's the key difference. Fiat money, like the US dollar, is debt. It's backed by government promises and nothing else, and can be printed endlessly, making it a poor long-term store of value. Over time, every fiat currency in history has lost purchasing power due to inflation. And the more money that's printed, the less it's worth. Holding cash might feel safe, but in reality, it's like watching your wealth slowly erode. Instead of preserving value, fiat money is constantly depreciating, making it essential to convert savings into real assets like gold, silver, and other tangible stores of value that can't be artificially inflated. Real money, gold, silver, commodities, land, is a store of value. It represents real energy and resources and effort. Why does this matter? Because over time, paper money always loses purchasing power. Look at what a dollar could buy you in 1920 versus today. Inflation erodes its value, while assets like gold and silver tend to hold or increase in value. This is why the wealthy don't keep their savings in cash. They store their wealth in assets. And this is exactly why I believe now is a time for the average person to start thinking about owning precious metals. If you want to protect your wealth from what's coming, stick around. I'll break down why gold and silver could be a smart move for the average person and how you can get started. Gold and silver have been used as money for thousands of years. Unlike paper currency, they hold intrinsic value and act as a hedge against inflation, economic downturns, and market volatility. While the stock market can be unpredictable and cash loses value due to inflation, gold has long been considered the ultimate hedge against inflation because, unlike paper currency, its value isn't eroded by excess money printing. When governments flood the economy with new money, each dollar in circulation loses purchasing power, causing prices of goods and services to rise. But gold, being a finite resource, maintains its value over time. Historically, during periods of high inflation, like the 1970s and early 2000s, gold prices surged as investors saw a safe store of wealth. Unlike cash, which loses value the longer you hold it, gold has consistently preserved purchasing power, making it a reliable asset for protecting wealth in uncertain economic times. Governments print money, but they can't print gold. Another major shift happening right now is that central banks around the world are dumping U.S. Treasury bonds and aggressively adding to their gold reserves. Countries like China, Russia, and even smaller economies are moving away from U.S. debt and securing their wealth in physical gold. This is a massive signal that those in power see gold as a safer long-term asset than the U.S. dollar. Historically, central banks held U.S. bonds as a primary reserve asset, but with rising inflation, geopolitical tensions, and concerns over the stability of the dollar, they're choosing gold instead. If the biggest financial institutions in the world are making this move, shouldn't the average person be paying attention too? Gold has maintained value for centuries. Gold has been a proven store of wealth for thousands of years, outlasting currencies, governments, and financial crises. Gold's scarcity and intrinsic value make it a reliable asset for preserving purchasing power. It's financial insurance. It holds its value across generations, making it one of the most effective ways to safeguard wealth against inflation. Now, with global economic uncertainty on the rise, the Trump administration is likely to shake things up even more than it already has. Regardless of where you stand politically, history shows that uncertainty drives investors into safe haven assets like gold. When Trump was elected in 2016, gold initially dropped, but then surged as trade tensions and market volatility increased. This is why protecting your wealth with real assets like gold and silver is more important than ever. Global economic tensions with growing geopolitical risk, gold remains a safe bet. Stocks and real estate have had a strong run, but corrections happen. Right now, the stock market is showing clear signs of overvaluation, with price to earnings ratios at historically high levels and corporate profits struggling to justify inflated stock prices. At the same time, rising interest rates are putting pressure on both the economy and real estate, making borrowing more expensive and slowing down home sales. Consumer debt is at record highs, and banks are tightening lending standards, both signals of an economy on the brink of a slowdown. With the yield curve remaining inverted, a historically reliable recession indicator, all signs are pointing towards an economic downturn. Now, if you're new to buying precious metals, here's a simple way to get started. Decide what to buy. Gold, coins, silver, whatever it is. Look at all your options. Step number 2, where to buy. There's all kinds of reputable bullion dealers. You can go online. There's companies like SD Bullion, APMEX. You can even go to your local coin shops for small purchases and avoiding online premiums. Step 3, how to store it. Home storage, if you store at home, use a safe. You have a bank safe deposit box. Secure but limited access. Private vaults, best for high value holdings. Personally, I recommend keeping a mix. Some at home for easy access and some in secure storage. The bottom line is this: gold and silver has stood the test of time. With a shifting economic landscape, growing uncertainty, and inflation eating away at cash, now might be the best time to start building your precious metal stack. Question for you: do you already own gold and silver, or are you thinking about starting? Drop a comment below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you on the next one.